How the world sees forgiveness. This is the world's idea of forgiveness. This is how it works. This is what people believe, and it's the very reason they stay trapped in the cycle of judgment, punishment, and conditional love. Conditional. Forgiveness must be earned. The world does not freely give it. You must show remorse, make amends, and prove yourself worthy. If you don't deserve it. Example. A man who cheats on his wife must suffer for years before she might consider forgiving him. If he moves on too soon, he's still the villain. Weakness. To forgive is to let someone off the hook. It's soft, naive, and foolish. Strong people hold their ground. Example. A woman whose child was killed refuses to forgive the killer. People nod in approval, saying, "That's right, he doesn't deserve forgiveness." Transactional. Forgiveness is a deal. You say you're sorry, I decide if I accept it. No apology, no forgiveness. Example. A politician caught in a scandal releases a public apology. If it's convincing enough, some forgive him. If not, he's done. Limited. Some things are just unforgivable. There's a line, and once you cross it, there's no coming back. Example. A terrorist who renounces his past and dedicates his life to peace is still labeled a monster. No one believes he has changed. Emotional relief. People forgive for themselves, not the other person. It's about releasing personal anger, not truly seeing innocence. Example. A woman forgives her abusive father so she can find peace, but she still believes he was a monster, socially influenced. If society decides someone should be forgiven, they are. If not, they remain condemned. Example. A celebrity caught in a scandal makes a comeback because the media shifts public opinion in his favor. A nobody in the same situation? Forgotten forever. Legalistic. Forgiveness is tied to justice. The court decides who deserves what, and society follows suit. Example. A man who serves 20 years in prison for a crime is forgiven because he paid his debt. But if he wasn't punished, forgiveness wouldn't even be considered. Hierarchical. Some people are forgiven easily, others never are. It depends on status, power, and privilege. Example. A beloved leader caught in a moral failure is defended, excused, and quickly forgiven. A poor man who does the same thing? Unforgivable. Selective. People forgive those they love or relate to. If you're the other, you don't get that luxury. Example. A mother forgives her son for stealing, but condemns a stranger for the same crime. Delayed. Forgiveness takes time. The greater the crime, the longer the wait. If someone forgives too fast, people judge them instead. Example. A woman forgives her husband's killer within weeks. People call her crazy, saying she should suffer longer before forgiving. The heinous crimes. These are the crimes, the worst of the worst. Society has deemed them the ultimate evil. The things people say can never be forgiven. Murder, child abuse, human trafficking, genocide, terrorism, rape, torture, treason, mass shootings, serial killing. How the world sees forgiveness for these crimes. Murder. Maybe. If it was an accident, self-defense, or heat of the moment, some might forgive. If it was premeditated, unforgivable. Child abuse. Never. The most hated criminals in prison are child abusers. Even among killers, they are the lowest. Human trafficking. Only if the person is fully rehabilitated, and even then most people say no. Genocide. Forgiveness? Not a chance. History keeps the crimes alive forever. Terrorism. Maybe if it was done under extreme coercion, but ideological terrorism? Unforgivable. Rape. Rarely forgiven. Even if the victim forgives, society won't. Torture. If done by governments, it's excused. If done personally, it's condemned beyond redemption. Treason. Some countries still execute traitors. Enough said. Mass shootings. Only if the shooter is dead, because then people don't have to consider forgiveness at all. Serial killing. Absolutely not. Even decades later, the world still hates serial killers. The crimes the world can never see themselves forgiving. Genocide, pedophilia, treason, killing one's own family, necrophilia, cannibalism, serial murder, rape and torture combined, acid attacks, massacres of the innocent. These are the crimes where the world doesn't even try to talk about forgiveness. These are the crimes where the door is shut, locked, and buried. What this says about the world's idea of forgiveness. There are limits. Some things are beyond forgiveness. Forgiveness is selective. Some get it, others never will. Public perception dictates forgiveness. If society says no, it's no. You must suffer first. If you haven't suffered enough, you can't be forgiven. This is how the world operates, and now here's how the world wakes up from the dream. A Course in Miracles view of forgiveness. You don't get to decide what's forgivable and what's not. That's the ego talking. The world's version of forgiveness is a joke, a game designed to keep you trapped. Because the second you decide something is unforgivable, you just proved that you still believe in the illusion. Forgiveness isn't earned. It isn't given. It's recognized. Recognize that nothing happened because the world itself is nothing. You say genocide happened? The Course says there is no world. You say someone was murdered. The Course says there is no death. You say a crime is too big to forgive. The Course says there are no degrees of illusion. All of this, everything the world calls unforgivable, it never happened. Not the way you think. You are the dreamer of the dream, and you are keeping it alive by believing in it. You carry around your judgments and your outrage as if they are real. But the Course says this. Would you continue to tell yourself a lie just to make yourself feel comfortable in the dream? Because that's what this is. The truth does not argue. The truth does not debate. It simply stands like a lighthouse and waits for you to stop hitting the rocks and come home. This is the contrast. The world says forgiveness is earned, conditional, and limited. The Course says forgiveness is absolute, immediate, and the only way home. The world says some things are unforgivable. The Course says there is nothing to forgive. And here's the truth. One day, maybe not in this lifetime, maybe not in the next, you will realize that you have been carrying the weight of nothing. You have suffered for nothing. You have held on to rage for nothing, and when you finally fully let it go, you will wake up. That's it. That's the way out. There is no other way.